Imagine you're a doctor in 1726. You're summoned to see a woman in agony. You arrive. She's in labor. You're expecting a baby. But what comes out is a rabbit. A whole rabbit. And if you're thinking, oh, come on, this has got to be a joke, you're not alone. But here's the creepy part. Doctors believed her. The king's personal surgeons examined her. And for a moment in history, the scientific world genuinely thought a woman had found a way to manufacture bunnies in her womb. This is the completely insane, semi-horrifying, utterly real story of Mary Toft, the woman who birthed rabbits and fooled the crown. Let's hop into it. Southern England, 1726. Mary Toft is a poor peasant woman married to a cloth worker. Life is tough, money is scarce, and pregnancies are common. But then, Mary suffers a miscarriage. Not long after, she starts experiencing intense labor pains again. Her belly swells, she screams. And when the local surgeon examines her, out pops something with fur. It's the back half of a rabbit. You read that right, not even a full rabbit, just the back half. A few days later, more rabbit parts. And then full ones. Dead, hairless, sometimes mutilated, but delivered through labor in front of medical witnesses. And here's the terrifying twist. She wasn't alone during these deliveries. Multiple doctors came, watched, took notes, and believed her. This wasn't some village prank. This went national. Word spread fast. One of King George I's personal surgeons, Nathaniel St. Andre, traveled down to see the miracle himself. And what did he do? He observed Mary deliver several more rabbits, and then wrote a 40-page medical report declaring this legit. He even suggested a theory. Mary must have craved rabbit meat during pregnancy, and when she saw a rabbit while pregnant, the image burned itself onto the fetus. Physicians, noblemen, and even clergymen were convinced. Meanwhile, Mary was literally in newspapers, the woman who gave birth to rabbits. But then, things got weirder. As public curiosity turned to skepticism, a surgeon named Cyriacus Allers got suspicious. He examined the baby rabbits and noticed something odd. The rabbits were fully grown and some had grains and hay in their stomachs, like they'd been eating, not growing in a womb. So, unless Mary had a whole farm in her uterus, something smelled fishy or rabbity. Eventually, authorities got involved. Mary was taken to London and kept under surveillance. Suddenly, no rabbits, not even a single bunny toe. And under pressure, Mary confessed, she and an accomplice had been shoving dead rabbits into her body, then faking labor. Yes, you heard that correctly. She implanted rabbits, then pushed them out in front of horrified medical professionals. The motive? Desperation, fame, maybe a little madness, or maybe, just maybe, a genius-level con artist who knew exactly how gullible experts could be. Mary was arrested for fraud, but she was never punished beyond public shame. The doctors, embarrassed. Some lost their jobs. Saint Andre, the king's physician, was ridiculed for life. He'd believed in womb rabbits. The public? They went from shock to pure mockery. Pamphlets, songs, jokes. It became the 18th century version of a meme spiral. Mary Toft faded into obscurity. She lived quietly for decades. No more rabbits, thankfully. Okay, but here's the creepy psychological kicker. This wasn't just one woman doing something gross with rabbits. This was a room full of intelligent, educated professionals, convinced they were witnessing a miracle. They weren't stupid. They were human. So, what does that say about us? We're suckers for a good story. If the narrative is juicy enough, half-rabbit births, conspiracy theories, pineapple on pizza, we're halfway convinced before we even check the facts. We want to be the first to discover something. The surgeons didn't just want to treat Mary, they wanted to be the one who found something new. Something headline-worthy. Confirmation bias is undefeated. Once we believe something, our brains go full detective mode, but only to prove ourselves right. Desperation plus attention equals chaos. Mary was poor, invisible. She did something horrifying. And suddenly she was the most talked about woman in England. In the age of clout chasing and virality, that hits a little too close to home. So yeah, this story isn't just old-timey weirdness, it's a mirror. It shows how far we'll go to believe the unbelievable. And the wildest part? We're still doing it. Every time we click on a wild headline before we ask, wait, is that even real? So the next time you hear something that sounds too weird to be true, just remember, once upon a time, the most brilliant doctors in England thought a woman was giving birth to rabbits. History is wild. Humans are weirder. And the line between genius and gullibility? Barely a whisker wide. Subscribe to Wired Weird for more twisted tales from the history of the human mind. Share this with your friend who thinks AI is getting too smart, but also believes in horoscopes. And hey, if you see a rabbit today, maybe don't look too closely.